when this PE environment loads, sometimes it'll take a few minutes before your command prompt is ready to take commands. So don't be surprised if you have to wait a little while for this second line to appear with the flashing cursor. So the first thing I'm going to do is type in Diskpart and then list disk, and you can see that our first machine, which was called fresh install, is disk 0. Status is online. It has 30 gigabytes. Nothing free. And then the disk that we added, disk 1, is online. It has 40 gigabytes and it has 40 gigabytes free. So that's how you can verify. That's why I chose a different file size, so you can clearly see the difference. But if it was the same file size, you would still know that this is the new one, because it would say 30 gigabytes free. So the disk 1 is the new drive that we added. And since this is the empty one, this is what we are going to be preparing. So we're going to say select disk 1, and then we're going to clean it, and then we're going to select partition primary, we are going to create a partition primary. And then we're going to select partition 1. And then we are going to format quick with the NTFS formatting or file system, and we're going to give it a label of captured image. So double check your code before you press enter. Format quick, fs equals ntfs, label equals captured image. Press enter, and then we wait for the formatting to complete. Okay, when that is complete, type assign, and then type active, and then list volume. Now at this point, it would be wise to get a pen and a paper, because you're going to need to jot down this information. So you should make a note that volume 0 is the letter E and is also the CD-ROM. Now yours might be different. This just depends on the steps that you followed and what your drives were named previously. So at this point, if yours have a different letter, at that point you still can do this. You just have to write it down and just kind of follow the process. So write down that volume 1, C, system, and volume 2 is the D letter. That is the 29 gigabytes. So that is what is remaining of the 30 gigabyte drive that we had created in our fresh install. And then we have our captured image, and you can see that it's nearly the 40 gigabytes. 39 is volume 3, and that is letter F, and that is the captured image. So once you've written that down, then you're ready for the next step. The next step, just type exit, and you can see that it exited Diskpart. So now you're going to type the letter of the drive that is associated with your CD-ROM drive. So in this case, that's going to be E. And so that way you can see that we are now in the E drive, or the CD-ROM. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and type this in, and then we're going to talk about this for a second. But we're going to type in Imagex capture D, and capture D onto F, and inside or let's see here, win7.wim. Yep. So we're capturing D onto F, and we're going to call this win7.wim. And then you don't have to verify, I prefer to verify. Imagex. So double check that you've entered this code correctly. Imagex / capture D : F : \win7.wim, and then in double quotes win7, and then verify. So before you hit enter, make sure that D right here is whatever you wrote down for your fresh install. So if yours was a different letter, in our case, our fresh install, we had set it up with 30 gigabytes, so we know that's the fresh install. And your F is whatever letter you wrote down for your captured image. Well, we see that we actually called this captured image, and we remember too that we set it up with 40 gigabytes, so we know that that's correct. So if your drives are different, that's how you're going to set that up. Is your fresh install should go right here, and your captured image should go right here. And then we're going to go ahead and press enter, and then this will take a while, maybe around 13 to 15 minutes to complete, depending on how your system is set up. Okay, you can see that it is finished, and it took 12 minutes and 6 seconds on my machine. And now we're going to type, we're going to go ahead and shut this down. We'll just type WPE util shut down. And that's going to shut it down for us.